doing this. But luckily,
This is your first? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah,
I'm like the premier.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to be nice to Jacob.
Yes, we do. I'll tip generously. Don't worry.
Ha ha ha.
Jacob. My name's Pat Whalen. I'm the host of Good Evening with Pat Whalen. You might remember me from just now, actually. I'm here with Susana Mendoza.
Hi, hey, nice
She's
to
the
meet you.
Comptroller of the state of Illinois.
I know, it's hard to believe.
I know.
Very nice. Well, can I get you something to drink?
Well, I'm an old-fashioned kind of gal. Do you have one of those?
I certainly do.
All right, let's do it.
Sir?
I'll have what she's having.
He's an old-fashioned kind of gal, too.
Yes,
I'm a big
I'm an
fan.
old-fashioned
I love
kind
it.
of gal.
All right, coming right up.
Susanna, thank you for joining me
Oh, my pleasure.
here tonight.
How fun.
Let's just keep it casual.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's
Come on.
happy hour. Welcome to happy hour.
You can
That's what
loosen the
it's
tie
called.
a little bit.
Yeah, but we're here at Front Bar at Steppenwolf Theater Company. I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Steppenwolf for allowing us to play inside tonight at the bar. It's a nice place, pretty swanky.
It's beautiful.
Right?
Highly recommend you come check it out. Yes.
Same.
And a show.
Ding! I mean, hey, you didn't, credit where credit's due, okay? You didn't sign up for anything. You won.
This is true.
You won.
Thank you to the people in Illinois who voted for me. I
Well,
know that I had some fans on the Pat Whalen show.
I
Thank
think,
you.
yes.
We did it. We did it.
We looked it up, and you actually won by the exact number of people
In the studio
who
that
saw
day.
you.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's
this
amazing.
is coincidence? I
Right?
don't think so.
No,
Yes.
no, we arrange these things very carefully. So, I mean, congratulations.
Thank
Seriously.
you. Thank you. All kidding aside, it's awesome, and I appreciate it. And I had so much fun at your show that night, and your crew and the comedian that night. It was just so
Yeah.
fun. It was great. It
Peter,
was a great day.
Peter was so good.
He was awesome.
We're trying to get him back on.
Is he like, he's like, you can't afford me now or something?
Basically, yeah. I mean, we shot him through the stratosphere, and that was kind of what I was worried about was going to happen with
Yeah,
you.
no.
That would be calling the office. You'd be like, who?
I was
that
so
was when
excited.
that was when I was a city
Yeah,
clerk.
Yeah, whatever.
Do you miss being a city clerk?
I do. I will say that was a really wonderful experience for me. 5 years. We did a lot of cool things, I was excited. But I do miss it, obviously. It was a lot easier, even though it was difficult. But we had already gotten through, like, most of the really hard things that we did with transitioning the whole city to year-round sales. We got that done in my first term. And so I was finally starting to take a breath so I can focus on other things, like modernizing the city council. The division, I should say, not the council itself, but the division that we control in terms of the record keeping. And so that was going to be a really cool project. But I already felt like, I knew what was going on entirely over there, right? I had my hands around that beast, if you want to call it such.
You've been there. Well, sure.
I've been there. I felt like a veteran now. And so this is an entirely different scenario. It's really like out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Indeed.
And,
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, thanks.
That's good.
And that's really a good analogy because that's what it feels like. So I think during the campaign, people would say, why are you doing this? Especially people that liked me. And I would say, I don't know, I think I have a little bit of a fireman's complex. It's like firemen. It doesn't make any sense. Instead of running away from the fire, they run towards it. And that's kind of how I see Springfield's on fire. It's a hot mess. And I wanted to be a part of, like, trying to go into the burning Capitol building here and see what I can do to try to put out some flames.
This is it. Like,
This is it.
You're at the Comptrolls.
Yep.
You're Comptroller. I've heard people call it the Controller.
Yeah, that's not like...
I already know because I've already interviewed you.
That's
and
right, but
I
how about
watched
prior
it.
to that?
Where is those drinks at? But, while we are waiting for the drinks, a quick, 10-second description what a comptroller does for the people at home.
Sure. So by Illinois Constitution, the comptroller is charged with paying the state's bills. So basically I consult with the treasurer to make sure that we have enough money for whatever bill I have to pay. And then once we approve that, we go ahead and execute payment. If you get a check from, or any kind of a payment related issue from the state of Illinois, it would be coming from the Office of the Illinois Comptroller, me. And so that would be my name that's signed at the bottom of your check, tax returns, things of that nature. So we have a difficult job when we're sitting on $11.2 billion in backlog bills that we have not paid. Yes, I know. I'll hold on to you so you don't fall off your chair.
I
But
thought I passed out for a second.
11.2 billion.
How'd I do? 11.2.
Not million.
Is that with a B?
Billion with a B.
I know I was hung up on comp
I
or
know,
con,
it's crazy.
M or N, but that's a B.
It's a big B.
First of all, I mean, since you've won and you're in Springfield, how are you enjoying the comptroller's mansion? How are the corporate kickbacks? How's everything going?
There are none.
Where do you store the bags of money? Like
Yes.
what's going on? How is the job?
Not in shoe boxes.
No?
past administrators have done. But no, I would tell you that there's no money. So if you're hoping I was buying drinks tonight, it's probably a long shot. We're going to be washing dishes, pal.
Well, it's been great talking to you.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy. Well, $11 billion. I'll buy you a drink.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll report it. Got to make sure I report it.
Yeah, write it off on your, what are the taxes?
Yes.
Taxes, that's what they are. So would you say that is the biggest challenge you have? Because when you were going to get elected, when you were running for the Comptroller's office, you said, I'm going to take bonuses for state employees. We're not going to pay those up front because no one else is getting paid in the state, like the social service providers and these very serious issues. So we're going to put those to the back of the line. When can we expect that to be done? How long is this going to take for you to put those bonuses to the back of the line?
It's done. I did them already.
You already did?
Yeah. I told you I was going to do them on day one.
Well, you did, but I mean, again, I thought that was hyperbole, like out of the fire into the frying pan, that kind of thing.
I guess you're right about that, but no, this was not hyperbole. This was legit. So I said I was going to do them on day one, and I did them on day one.
First
yes.
day?
Yes, as soon as I figured out where my office was, then I met with my staff. I met them, said hello, and then I said, let's get to work. And that moving forward, bonus payments would be put to the back of the line so that we could prioritize who I really feel is most important, which are people who have disabilities, children with disabilities, seniors, social service providers, folks that really cannot afford to wait. Right now, we should not be issuing bonuses to people when other folks are literally suffering and trying to keep the lights on and the doors open in their institutions.
That makes sense to me. And you talked about that is the seriousness of the job. When I asked you last time, I said, I don't understand the whole moral compass aspect of this office, and you said it's about prioritizing who gets paid when, especially when you don't have a budget.
Right. I mean, ideally, you wouldn't have to be prioritizing people, one group over another, one individual over another.
Because everybody
It would
gets
be
paid.
People are getting paid in a timely fashion. Per Constitution, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, is executing payments and doing them in a timely fashion. But it's impossible to do that when you owe $11.2 billion, and that's as a result of having no budget over the last 2 years.
God, that 11.2, that's really sharp. It's getting me. It's a lot
brutal.
of money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'd like to break that down in a minute, but I mean, at first, when last I had you on, and even a year before I had you on, the state of Illinois didn't have a budget.
Right.
So
They didn't.
Is that still
a
the
year and
case?
a half before
So
that either. So
no-
yes, we are now potentially going into our third year without a budget. So we've already finished off 2 entire legislative sessions without Governor Rauner introducing a balanced budget proposal that, per Constitution, and I'll even quote you the Constitution.
Well, hang on.
Oh,
He's
man,
the governor.
You're taking my window
Okay,
away here.
the governor is busy. He has things to do. He can't be writing budgets. He has to cut ribbons. He has to kiss babies. He's got to go to grand openings of things. Announce.
Or maybe grand closings. That's what it sounds like. It's more like that.
I think we should end there. I think we're good. We got it.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, he's busy, though. He can't be writing budgets. He doesn't have time. It's not his responsibility.
I guess. So
Susana.
look, maybe he could take just 5 minutes out of that super busy schedule and read Article 8, Section 2
You gotta
of the
memorize.
Illinois Constitution. Yes, it says really clearly, I can read, it says, the governor shall prepare and submit to the Illinois General Assembly.
Shall.
Shall, not maybe should think about it.
If there's
or
time.
It would be cool if you
Right.
did this. It's the governor shall prepare and submit. And, I would argue that people shouldn't look at any critiques on the governor not having passed a budget as like a political attack. It's not a Democratic opinion. It's not a Republican opinion. It's not my opinion. Don't take my word for it. Go read the Constitution, and it clearly says there that the governor shall prepare and submit to the General Assembly. Thank you, Jacob. A balanced budget proposal where expenditures do not exceed revenues. And then the legislature has to get to work on actually passing a budget. And that is where you get into this issue of compromising. How do we get to a point where we actually together pass a budget that works to take care of the people of the state of Illinois? But we can't get to the legislative part until the governor has done his constitutional duty, and we are now going into what, in a couple of weeks, is going to be his third budget speech. Maybe he'll actually show up, having read the Constitution by then, and decide to do his job.
Look, he's a businessman, okay? And
Sure.
if there's one thing we know about businessmen, they're
Cheers.
not politicians. Cheers to balancing the budget. Or having a budget.
This apple juice is awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, buddy. Front bar at Steppenwolf Theater Company.
Yeah.
I feel better
Great
already.
apple juice.
Made of Illinois apples.
It is.
Sure, I know.
So, as you may know, the state Senate is trying to work out this grand compromise.
I wanted to ask about that. Let me look like I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You go ahead. No, it's Radonio and...
Leader Radonio.
Leader Radonio.
Yes. She's the minority leader. She's a Republican. Great lady. She's a nice person.
And Cullerton.
Senator Cullerton.
Senate President Cullerton.
And he's a Democrat. Mm-hmm. And
they've
taken it upon themselves to try to do what the governor has not done over the last 2 years, which is to present a balanced budget proposal.
What everyone had heard is that it was Madigan and Rauner. They couldn't come to terms and write a budget together. So Cullerton and Radonio said, you know what? We're going to do this ourselves. We're going to try to come together, even though we're partisan and we're senators.
Yeah, even though they're from opposite parties.
Right.
Yes. And so I'm encouraged that they're trying to pick up the slack. But truthfully, I think just what the general public should know is that that's not their job, and that's not what the Constitution says their job is. We all have very delineated job descriptions per the Constitution. I mean, my job is to pay the state's bills and to try to do it in a timely fashion. It's not to invest the state's money, right? If I start trying to invest the state money, you should maybe say, hey, there's separation between your office and what the treasurer is supposed to be doing. So the treasurer, his job is to invest the state's money. The Secretary of State, he runs all the motor facilities, the driver's license facilities. He's in charge of state libraries. He has his own Secretary of State police. There's a whole bunch of things that the Secretary of State does that is totally, entirely different than what any of our constitutional offices do. Attorney General is the people's lawyer, so she takes on, the legal battles for the people of the state of Illinois. And the governor, the legislature, they're the ones who actually have to appropriate the funds so that I can actually pay bills and the treasurer can invest money.
And this is so the governor would usually, for the past forever, he would propose a budget.
And then the legislature would appropriate the funds and figure out how they do it.
Figure out what to do. Do we like
and then
it?
Appropriate
horse
funds.
Trading.
Right.
And now they're kind of doing that before the part where the governor.
Yeah, it's basically like they're just doing the governor's job. So you'd have to ask yourself, as a citizen, why have the governor then, right?
So what's he getting paid for?
Well, he doesn't get paid because he's a billionaire, so he doesn't need the money.
Oh, that's right. He made $188 million last year.
No, he didn't. He made $187 million. Come on.
I blow things out of proportion. See, I'm not a journalist.
Such an exaggerator.
I don't stick to the facts. It's easier if you make your own. What's $1 million here, $1 million there?
Yeah, I think it was $58 million maybe when he took office in 2014. And since then, while the state has gone completely into the tank, and not in a good way, his personal wealth has more than tripled to $187 million a year.
So
that's
good
just
for him.
It's like, wow.
That's great.
Yeah, but bad for the rest of the state. So I guess the point here is that a person who is making that kind of money, who a few weeks ago transferred, on one hand, here he is transferring $50 million of that personal wealth into his campaign account, while your average Joe out in the street is struggling to make their mortgage payment or make ends meet. It's hard to identify or relate when you're at that level where you can actually even do that, to pour $50 million into your campaign account just to scare all of the legislators at a time when your average citizen can't pay their health care bills or make their rent payment or is going homeless. Literally,
seriously.
It's such a disconnect from what's happening out there in any street, whether you're in Chicago or you're in Decatur or you're in Des Moines. I mean, it's a massive disconnect, and I don't really believe that he can relate to the plight of the average working Joe.
He seems a little insulated.
Or the average single mom struggling to make ends meet, trying to get back on their feet, trying to set a good example for those little kids.
Sure.
And, maybe what they were trying to do wasn't just about earning a paycheck. It was about having hope that they could get their life back and actually give something, a good example to their kid on multiple fronts.
The next generation. Isn't that kind of like
also,
the whole American,
yeah.
That's like the idea,
And then
right?
at the same time, those children would be learning from a skilled educator, an early childhood provider, where maybe that mom might not even be literate herself. And now we're forcing that mother to quit her job, to stay home, to be that child's first educator, when maybe that mom didn't have an education herself. And so we're hurting the child, we're hurting the mother, we're hurting our economy, because frankly, I'd rather have that mother working and contributing to our tax base than now going on to state assistance because we've given no other choice.
Or leaving the state,
yes.
because the population has gone down so much. But I wanted to, talk about Rauner, and I mean, he is out of touch. We talked to Jan Schakowsky last week, and she suggested that he get on, he should be shouting from one of the rooftops of his many houses that Illinois is in deep trouble. But I wanted to ask, because he put all that money into the race, and he didn't win.
Right.
So if money didn't win that race, what did win that race?
It was your audience,
I
exactly
know.
by
See,
that amount.
That's the correct answer.
It was like
I was testing you.
12 people. I'm totally kidding. It was more
There
than
were
that. I'm
like
totally
15.
kidding.
My mom was there.
I'm just messing
She
with
brought
you
2
now.
of her dogs.